Welcome, students, to another episode of Manhood Academy Podcasting. We are at capacity. We are getting full in our classes. We have 10 students, well, actually 9 students, counting me. We're at capacity right now, and I figured we'd get to this problem eventually. This is a good problem to have, but we want to try and get as many students as possible. So in the coming weeks, we will see how it pans out. If students want to get in, because right now we have 20 people in the chat room, so I'm assuming more students want to get into class. Google only allows, to have 10 people in a hangout at one time. So we're basically might have to go to the sign-up system. I just took the sign-up system down right now because we weren't at capacity normally, and we usually have students drop in and out. But right now, right at the start of class, we are at capacity. So we'll see how it goes. We'll play it by ear the next few class meetings, and if we keep getting full and students are requesting to join class, we'll start a sign-up list just to make sure that everybody gets in the rotation, and we can make sure that everybody gets a chance to participate in at least one of the classes. Remember, we have 4 classes during the week, so you have plenty of opportunity to get into class. Also, I had a thought that today, does somebody have a TV on? Anybody has a TV on? Turn it off. Put your headphones in. Something.
Oh, I got headphones on. I hear echo.
Anybody have their TV on? Turn it off. I hear chatter in the background.
All right.
Make sure you're quiet when you come to class.
Yeah, I think there's people behind paperclip, actually talking.
Okay, we're good. So, we're at capacity right now, and I had a thought. Well, this doesn't have to do with capacity, but I thought, well, you guys wanted me as much as possible to get as much practice as possible, and it allowed me to be lazy at some point. Instead of a class, I was thinking we could have lab. You know how they have in history or biology, you dissect the rat. Well, you guys can have a class, and you basically have to. This is the opportunity to get to know the other students, because most of you guys are pretty much lazy fucks. And I ask you, every class, how's your relationship with the other students? And usually you answer it's bad. And the reason why I ask you that is so that I hope you will practice initiating with the other students and getting to know them just by initiating a social interaction with them. Just like this, you would say, hey, let's talk. So this is a pretense right now to have a social interaction. We have a class where you guys are all gathered here. So if I make it official and I say, hey, we're going to have a lab on, I don't know, this day when we're not having class. Let's say, what day don't we have class? Thursday? And I say Thursday, you guys, we have class or you have a lab at 6. Everybody be here at 6. And then you guys all gather here. I'm not here. So now you guys have to practice. So I was thinking maybe, I was actually wanted to do it in place of class to have labs. But then I thought, well, you also have spaces in between class, like Thursday and Sunday. Or if you can't make it into class, you guys could start a lab. Like if we have too many students outside of class while students are in class, half of them can be in lab, and you could switch, you know what I'm saying, to make room so that everybody can be in class or be doing something on the days when we have class. So these are some of the ideas I had. As always, I'm pushing for you guys to lead the social interaction. I'm pushing for you guys to be, I hate to use the term proactive, but it's really a good enough term. Meaning that you go out and you make the social interaction happen. It's just like if I want to have a relationship with Jar, I'd have to contact him. I'd have to find out his name on the forum. I'd have to PM him. I'd have to arrange a time with him. Just like when Travo was arranging a bro day. He just said, hey, everybody come to my bro day. He's expecting a full house. How many did you get in there?
Like 4.
4 people. Not a lot. But the part of the reason why you didn't get a lot of people is what? What's the reason you didn't get a lot of people, Travo?
I don't know. I sent out tons of invitations. So
okay.
I don't know why I didn't get a lot of people.
What if a guy at Target sent you an invitation to come to his party on Friday? Is that a top priority on your calendar?
Nope.
Why not?
Because they don't care about me. They wouldn't want to come. It wouldn't be enjoyable for them.
He doesn't know you. He's sending out the invite. So you don't know him. He doesn't know you. You have no incentive to come. A lot of people don't know you. So if they have nothing better to do, great, they can just check out your bro day, but they have a lot of other distractions too that are competing for their time. You're one of those distractions. You haven't proven yourself to be anyone worth knowing other than if they know you from class or they hear your answers from class. They go, oh, I like the way that guy made that answer, or I like the way he sounds in class. I might want to talk to him further. But outside of class, how often do you guys talk or how often do you guys meet? Again, how many students do you know at the academy? So this might kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone, the lab idea. So I just want to throw that out there and see what you guys think about having a quote-quote lab, or just a pretense to hang out where I just say, hey, it's in place of the lab or while other students are in class, well, simultaneously, somebody will be leading a lab. And if you guys are having a lab, you guys will have to have somebody that's designated the leader so it doesn't get out of hand. this means somebody's got to be in charge of making sure that, not everybody's talking at once. Because if I just throw you in a room with 10 people and you have no social skills, the quiet ones or the guys who are super shy are just going to be quiet and wait for the other guys to fill up the silence and do all the talking. They're just going to wait. They're going to watch. It's going to be like watching TV for them. And then Paperclip's going to be doing all the talking. So the guy who's in charge has to make sure that guys who are talking need to be aware of the other guys who aren't talking. The goal of the social interaction. If Paperclip is the only guy talking, that's a failed social interaction. That means he's not meeting the needs of other people in the social interaction. Other people should be participating. If Paperclip's the only guy telling stories here, and I hear Paperclip talking 90% of the time, and maybe Tim Will chiming in with a yes or no, who's getting all the practice? Paperclip, right? So
sorry, guys.
He apologizes for ruining your social interactions. So the leader has to make sure that everybody's participating. So if I'm a socially competent person, I'm making sure that the group's needs are being met, not just one or two people, not just Paperclip getting practice or Boggles just getting practice, right? So I'm paying attention to the other members to make sure they're participating. This is the responsibility of the guy leading the group. So if it's your turn to lead the lab or whatever, I don't know how you guys want to do it. This is just an idea. It's not anything in concrete yet. That's one of the things you have to consider. Who's going to be the leader? You got to be in charge. And you're practicing to be in charge. You don't know how to be in charge. Again, a lot of you guys, the reason why you don't have these meetups or you don't ask people to talk to them or you don't lead a social interaction is because you don't know how to do it. You're waiting until you're socially competent and then you want to talk to them. You're waiting until you know what to do, then you want to do it. So you're like, well, let me study for 3 years, let me read the ebook, let me listen to everybody else, and then later on I'll practice. Do it now. This is the place to make your mistakes. We got chatter. Somebody needs to turn off their chatter in the background. If you have chatter in the background, turn it off or mute your mic. Thank you. So, this is one of the ideas. What do you guys think? DVP, what do you think?
I think it's a good idea. I think the organization's going to be a little tough, but after we do this for a few weeks, people will get used to it and it'll become a routine thing like class. We didn't used to schedule class before, but now it's become consistent.
Yes.
I think this will be the same thing.
Yeah, it's going to be new, and everybody's going to have growing pains because it's new, but I think it's an option. What do you think, Concrete?
Yeah, I think it's good because, it forms a sense of community. We get to see each other and spend time with each other. So yeah, it's a good idea to do this.
Tim Will.
Yeah. I actually like the idea. I mean, I know it gives everyone a chance to actually, one, get to know everybody better, and also, as you said, to take charge.
Right. Okay. Travo.
I like it because, like you said, I'm one of the quiet guys who just doesn't say anything when everybody else is talking, so I think it'll help me communicate better and learn to speak up when I have something on my mind.
Jar.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea. But DVP mentioned how, it's going to be a bit hard to, organize stuff like that. I agree with that, but at the same time, that's, an ideal situation to try to work out. So, all in all, I still think that this should have never happened, but clearly we needed it. So, I'm all on board. I took notes down, I'm ready to go make lab work out. So,
DKO.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea, too. I'm just worried about the order part. I don't know if we'll be able to keep order, but we'll see if it'll work or not.
Right, there's not going to be a plum in class, so I imagine it being like a bro day almost. When you've seen some of those crash and burn.
Yeah.
So
It's like a pretense to a bro day.
right, here's what we might do. You might, instead of making it we're not going to make it like a 2-hour lab, we should just make it start out with just a half hour or, a 15-minute lab, just to make it as minimal as possible. Once you get the hang of it, then you guys can move on.
Have, the leaders change every 15 minutes.
Yeah, and you guys want to rotate the leaders, so
I like that.
you guys, it's kind of like a forced bro day, whereas it's really along the same.
Let's say we have 6 people in the lab, and the lab's 2 hours. Well, you just divide 2 hours by 6, and then each person has their frame of time.
We could do it that way. This is basically a forced bro day because the bro day doesn't work because it's optional. It's not like a class where you should be there, and it also depends on the person leading the bro day. If they're terrible at leading the bro day, it's going to be uncomfortable, awkward. People are going to be bored. They're not going to want to be there. So we got to shorten the time to accommodate your lack of competence, social competence. So, for instance, Jar, give him 15 minutes. He can feel 15 minutes is going to be 2 hours to him. Same with travel. 15 minutes is going to be 2 hours for him. So we can make it short. That way, if you're fine, if you're fine with the 15 minutes, then it's easier to jump to 30 minutes versus we start you off at 2 hours. You're going to crash and burn and be, it's just like having a schedule that you can't keep because it's too demanding, and then you feel, discouraged because you can't keep your schedule. So I'd rather err on the side of simplicity or make it really super easy to meet the demand of the lab, and then work up to something like 30 minutes. If you guys are like, oh, this is too short, because typically, I'd like to have class be an hour, but I could talk for 5 hours and I never cover everything I want to cover. So it ends up just being, long enough. So that's the same demand I want to put on you, is just to get to the bare minimum of your capacity right now. And so I think most people, 15 minutes would be tough enough or adequate enough. And then you could rotate as necessary. Who were you on? DKO? Did we already cover you? Yep. Blue.
I think it's a good idea. It's kind of the same thing we've been doing, except it's called lab now.
Yes. Instead of bro day, it's now called lab.
Right. The only thing I'm wondering is if you're actually gonna start grading us now. Like, we should have report cards.
Oh no.
You should have report cards.
That's starting to sound like school, and I hate how the school system works.
School system.
I did that last class. I brought that up actually, and she actually just gave us one.
Well,
It's like a short one.
Yeah, sure one.
I want to make that.
Report cards are good is because it lets us know where we stand. I think that's the best.
I don't want to make it mandatory because I don't want to make this an official school yet. I want this to still be at your pace, because a lot of people are going to be overwhelmed when they first join. If this is like an official academy and they got to do jumping jacks and then run a mile, then talk for an hour, it's going to be pretty intense for them. So I don't want to make it that stressful for you guys, even though, if you realize talking is not really that stressful if you just practice it. It's nothing. But to you guys, your realization right now is so limited that it really is a stressful activity for you. So I want to make it as stress-free as possible while you're here. I want you to be encouraged with your social interaction to want to progress versus me demanding of you of your social interactions progressing, and then you get discouraged because you can't meet the demand. So it's a lot easier to form a cycle where you are encouraged by your progress versus discouraged by it being too demanding. If you guys want report cards, like the guys who want report cards, that's fine. I could do something orally for you. I don't want to write up formal report cards unless you're, a paying student. Maybe I have an obligation to you, but a lot of people here are scholarships, and a lot of people just don't want that pressure. So if you want that, I could give it to you in class. It's not a problem. Other than that,
I think eventually, Professor.
Yes.
I think eventually when the demand is high, like let's say you have a lot of students, then you can start issuing report cards, and then threaten to take away what's the word I'm looking for? Scholarships. They can't meet the grade.
Well, once we have enough students, and once this becomes a full-time occupation for me, then I'll get to that bridge at that point. But yeah, I'm sure things will change a little bit in structure. We'll have fewer scholarship students, because then the demand will be great that people want to actually be here and want to pay to be here because they're invested in their education. At that point, I can say, hey, I expect you to do this and I want you to do this. So I can be a little more demanding in that regard. Because right now, if you're on scholarship, we have guys on scholarship like fucking show up once a year. Or, they just read the form and that's it. That's what they think of their scholarship. What are they really doing? They're not getting any practice. And they're just wasting a scholarship. They're wasting my time. I got to respond to them sometimes, and they don't even fill out reports because they don't know what the fuck is going on because they never participate in class. So it's kind of, right now, I don't really care about that because they're on scholarship. I'm not obligated to answer them. That's how I view the scholarships right now. I want to give everybody as thorough answer as possible, but, if you're not going to put any effort into it, I'm not going to put any effort into you. So that's kind of the way I view the scholarships right now. I'm happy to have you because I want to get to as many guys as possible, whether you can pay or not. And I think the price, $10 a month, like we said, it works out to 33 cents a day. If you can't afford 33 cents a day, you shouldn't even be on the forum. You should be looking for a job. So we're trying to make this as affordable as possible. It's like ridiculously affordable right now. I even feel guilty charging $10, but when I was asking Ladice about this, and I was like, they're charging this much, and he broke it down for me, and then I realized, $10 is really nothing. It's like, 2 cups of coffee at Starbucks. But to me, it's like, I think that $10, and I think $10 is a lot of money to me. I don't want to just pay $10 for something that I'm not getting a lot out of. So I realized I'm pretty demanding for what whatever I pay for, I demand something for it. Whereas I think other people, they put less of demand. Like $10, like I said, is just 2 cups of coffee to them. So I got to kind of learn to value my time. And when I start getting more demand at the academy, like more students want to join, and it just becomes practically impossible for me to teach that many students at once, then I'll have the opportunity to go, okay, now I'm going to give scholarships to people who really are hardship cases and want them and are going to do something about getting a scholarship versus guys who are just like, oh, I want to join. Oh, okay, cool, I'm here. I can lurk on the forum. I don't have to do anything. Because I think right now that's the attitude of most scholarship students. And even paying students, right? They're here. We know the academy goes at your own pace. You're not forced to come to class. You're not forced to make any expression posts. In honor of this motif, you can see my recent, my new poster.
Oh, okay. That's what that poster was.
Made my first post in 4 years. I shared these with the students who were just here. Then there's I helped meet the black quota. That's Tim Will's favorite. Tim Will loves that. And then what's up is my favorite chat room greeting. So I like
that one.
I wanted to highlight some various fails at Manhood Academy. We always see like motivational posters like reach for the stars and really a lot of bullshit claims that don't really help you that much. And I thought, what a great way to highlight problems so you can identify with problems. Because a lot of the main issue is if you don't identify a problem, how can you even address it? Like all these positive motivational posters are like, just be confident, be yourself. Well, if yourself is a terribly trained person, being yourself is a big problem. So if you don't identify some of the problems, it's like, how can you even address them? So I think little posters like this are a little reminder that, oh, that's me. I'm the guy who always says what's up, right, in chat. And then this is me. I'm black.
What about the fact that
this one? Okay, admittedly, this one is ridiculous. This has no meaning at all. It's just me being silly. But like this one right here, I made my first post in 4 years, and you think, oh, that's me. I don't post. I in 2 years I've never made a post. So maybe I need to get posting. Maybe I need to start participating.
What bothers me is that these are sarcastic images.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I made my first post.
I'm thinking to myself that the professor needs to use sarcasm to get his point across.
I told you
be
before.
functional
I told you before. The professor is dysfunctional because you guys are dysfunctional.
Right.
If I could have my way at the academy, I would have paddles. And if you didn't do your work, I would paddle you. I don't have that luxury. So a lot of students like Boggles. He's back after a week ban. I'm frustrated with Boggles, but it's like he's here. He's not going anywhere. I'm committed to his development here at the academy for life, right? I made a lifelong contract. As long as a student wants to be here, I'm going to teach him. I'm never going to turn away a student, no matter how bad the case. So, but he's frustrating. He's frustrating me. So I get sarcastic. This is the same reason why girls will get sarcastic with you. A lot of guys will come up. A lot of nice guys will give them flowers, give them chocolates. A lot of nice guys will say the same things to them in clubs. And after a while, a girl hears the same thing over and over and over. She just gets a sarcastic answer because she's not going to say, "Oh, John Smith, you said this. Here's my reply to you." And then another John Smith comes up right after him in line. She's just going to keep saying the same thing. Eventually, she's just going to have these quick, lame, sarcastic answers, just like I have these quick, lame, sarcastic posts here, or these quick, lame, sarcastic posters.
You mean for like pickup lines and stuff?
Pickup lines, hey, if you go to a club, if you didn't have any training, you just think, hey, how are you doing? So where do you work at? What are your interests, right? You just start giving her a questionnaire and start interrogating her, making all these demands and not realizing it. And then the next guy comes along, he thinks the same thing. Oh, if I just ask her questions, she'll just open up, right? Wrong. So imagine somebody just kept coming up to you, Travo, and kept going, hey, Travo, where are you from? What are your interests? What do you like doing? And you had to tell this guy everything he demanded. And then another guy came up after him. Hey, Travo, how you doing? What are your interests? What are you into? Where do you work at? What would you start saying eventually with all these demands? Fuck off.
Yeah.
Go away. They ask you, what do you do for work?
Oh, man.
I don't know. I'm a garbage man. You just start being ridiculous. You start trying to give them answers to drive them away. That's what a lot of girls do. They give you answers to drive you away because they're annoyed.
I that in terms of like people ask me questions about technology at work. And
yeah, sometimes this guy asks me the stupidest questions, or this guy comes and like after work, he's like, "Can I use your scanner? I want to make a copy. I want you to make copies of this club flyer for me, and Photoshop it up." And what the fuck am I doing work for him for? Right? I'm not getting paid by this guy, so he's just like, do this free thing. So what do? Scanner's broken. I don't know how to use the Photoshop button. I don't know what this mouse button does. I just these types of answers I give the people that they're just go the fuck away answers when I can't tell them go the fuck away.
All right, that makes sense. Thank you.
So yes, I agree. In a perfect world, I would never make these posters. I would just beat you. But since I can't beat you, these are my beatings. These are my quasi beatings for you.
All right.
Okay, what's your take on the lab paper?
Okay, see, initially, like, when I first started with the academy, I would have been like, no way, we're not going to get anywhere. We're not going to help each other out. This is just going to be a waste of time. But now that I'm talking to, all my classmates and I get to see that they're improving just like I am, I'm like, you know what? It is a good idea because, even though the professor won't be there, or even though you won't be there, these students, they're learning and they're understanding principles just like I am. So we have the same perspective, so we can help each other out. So I'm all for it. We all have a common goal, and we can really help each other out. So I'm down. I'm down like a clown, Charlie Brown.
Thank you for your concluding rhyme.
You're welcome.
Boggles.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea because, like, one thing I used to really not like in the past classes is as soon as you leave, nobody would want to stick around.
Yeah.
Especially in Skype, but at least in Google Plus, when you leave, we're kind of forced. We're already there, so we tend to talk to each other, and sometimes we have really great conversations that lead way into midnight. So
I think the video element helps too because on Skype you don't have their face there, and you have to be a much more competent. It's like reading a book. You have to be a much more academic person to continue the conversation. Whereas here, it's kind of like you can stimulate. You're a little stimulated. You can say, "Oh, look at your glasses," or "Oh, what's going on behind you in the background?"
Like we can see people's faces, like expressions, and you can do shadow boxing. There's a lot more we can do with video.
Yes, I heard you guys like shadow boxing. So
yes, and but one thing though is sometimes I think it's good to have an activity like, let's say, hey, let's go around and we'll work on our expression.
Yeah, I think you guys gotta have, you definitely have to have some direction. I don't want to just throw you into a lab and say, have a conversation for 10 minutes. That's tough for you guys who have no direction. You're learning to lead right now. So I think the best way to do that would have one pretense for each lab. Like to have you're going to talk about one topic in the ebook. You're going to cover a topic. I don't care if you guys have a study, make it into a study group. Just some pretense where you guys will be socializing. So let's say we'll have the next lab coming, or the first lab coming up. You guys will talk about expression, or writing a profile for an online profile for a dating site, or you'll work on oral expression today. You'll work on reading a passage and getting into the passage, getting into the thought and feeling of the passage, or you'll work on having a mock, a mock expectation management thing where you guys have to write up an expectation management, or you have an argument. You guys write up a fake argument, and then the other guys have to figure out the problems with the argument or what went wrong, something along those lines, where you each have a little thing to work on.
Or we could also go over expression.
That's a great idea too.
Posts.
You could go over your posts, like your expectation management posts. You can go over your expression posts. So there's all kinds of possibilities for the lab.
Podcast topics.
You could try covering podcast topics. I would recommend it. Those are my notes. But yes, you're free to cover all of your own posts. So I think there's a lot of ideas and a lot of potential for a lab. So I want you guys, when we're done with class, why don't you write and respond? Somebody make a lab post. By somebody, who do I mean when I say somebody? DKO. DKO. What do I mean when I say somebody? Exactly. You asshole. You asshole, DKO. Do you want to be here, or are you hogging up a spot where another student can be here who's going to pay attention?
No, I'll listen. Sorry.
Sweet. Tim Will. Who do I mean when I say somebody?
Me.
Yeah, you. Hey, Concrete, who do I mean when I say somebody?
All of us.
No?
Me.
Yes. Travo, who do I mean when I say somebody?
Moi.
Yes. So when I say somebody make a post, one person here may make the post, but I mean who, Blue? When I say somebody.
You mean me?
Yes, I mean you. When you hear somebody, you should think me every single time. Why should you think me? Boggles.
That's a good attitude to have, because that's what when you're talking to us, you expect you're talking to every student. Like, we're supposed to think of the whole academy as one big student body, like one.
DVP, why should you respond to the post when you hear somebody? Should somebody make a post? Why should you take it upon yourself to answer that call when I say somebody?
Because if everybody has the perspective like, oh, somebody else is going to do it, then nothing's going to get done.
Forget about that part.
Okay.
Travo.
No.
Because you are the only person that you can be accountable for.
Okay, you're on the right track.
You're only responsible for what you say.
Blue.
Why is it a good idea?
Motherfucker. Paperclip.
It's a good idea because we're building friendships by doing so.
Side benefit. Jar.
I was going to say that you need to hold yourself accountable regardless of what anybody else
There
thinks.
you go. Did Tim Will, did you hear Jar's answer?
Yes.
One more time, please. I want to write this down.
Repeat it to this asshole Blue, because he wasn't paying attention.
You need to hold yourself
No.
accountable.
Tim Will, repeat it for Blue's benefit.
You want to hold yourself accountable.
Why don't you address Blue so he wakes up?
Hey, Blue. The reason that somebody is you is because you want to hold yourself accountable.
All right, thank you.
Yes, you are learning to hold yourself accountable. You are learning
Professor,
to initiate.
I already knew the answer.
Well, then you should give the answer. I don't want to hear your excuse. I want to hear your answer.
Indeed.
Cool.
Sweet. Glad we had that confrontation. Okay, so yes, you need to hold yourself accountable. You need to practice holding yourself accountable because you're going to be doing what to other people? DKO?
You're going to be replying to posts.
You want to hold yourself accountable because you're going to be doing what to other people? Jar?
Because you're going to hold other people accountable.
Yes! You're going to have to hold other people accountable if you want to get your expectations met. Jar?
Yes.
DKO?
Yep.
Yep. If you learn how to hold yourself accountable, you will learn to go, oh, this person is accountable to my expectation. If you don't know how to hold yourself accountable, forget holding other people accountable. You let them slide. You'll be like, why not? Come on, bro. Just be a bro. Just be a bro. Let it go. Let it go. Just be a bro.
Be a bro and let it go.
Be a bro and let it go, right? Oh, bro stole my wallet. Be a bro. Let it go.
There should be an image.
Go with the flow. Be a bro. Let it
Go with the flow. Just be a bro, right? Oh, don't worry about that. Yeah, don't worry about that thing. You
Make
do it
that
later.
one of those images.
Oh, I got homework to do. Oh, do it later, bro. Be a bro. Let it go.
Be a bro, let it go.
You know what happens to be a bro? Let it go.
You go to shit.
Yeah, you go to shit. You know what happens when you're banned for a week and you're supposed to write a paper and it's due the day you get back and you don't fucking do it because you're like, oh, just be a bro. Let it go. Plum's a bro. He's gonna let it go. What happens? Boggles?
You get banned an extra day.
Yeah, you get banned an extra day because Plum's not a bro. Plum cares about his expectation. He says, no, bro, I don't let it go.
Now I know.
Now you know. Now you know. Yes.
Hey, that rhymed. Hey, that was clever.
So, if you learn to hold yourself accountable, you will eventually start holding other people accountable, and you will learn how to get your expectations met. Why do you think I'm able to get my expectations met?
Because you hold yourself accountable.
Yes. Not like Blue making excuses. Professor, I knew the answer. Professor, I knew the answer. No, Blue. You give the answer. Or you pay attention. One or the other. You don't make excuses for it. You learn to hold yourself accountable. Then you will be able to hold other people accountable that are under your authority. Your authority. So, in conclusion, I would like somebody to make a post about what we discussed regarding the lab. We'll get a couple more opinions of students who aren't in the classroom. And then we will...
This in the student lounge.
Yes, and then we will figure out a day to start, like a practice lab, just for the week. And we can always add more. We always have the option of doing that, filling in days. We can have it on the days when, if you can't get to class or you come an hour later than class starts back home, and you can't make it to class or it's full. We could do it on a lab day. So we got to figure out what day. So there's a couple things we got to figure out: how to work out who's going to be in charge, if we're going to rotate it or not. We got to work out what days we're going to have it and how many days we're going to have it. We're going to just start out with one for the week, and then we'll see if we want to add more or what. We're gonna start working out the time, how long it's going to last. We're going to make it very minimal, so we're going to make it 15 minutes. I'm not sure if we want to have that for the whole lab or just for the person leading, but we want to start very minimally, so at 15 minutes probably. So there's a couple things we're going to need to work out practically to get this lab going. It's not that difficult. You guys just end up here in a hangout. Somebody starts a hangout who is designated to do it, and you guys will have a topic. And then another thing is we're going to have to figure out what topic we're going over, how we're going to decide on the topics. Are we going to cover expression posts? Are we going to cover this? Are we going to cover that? Some of the things we just talked about. So this is what is going to be in the post. So everybody will have a reference point. Everybody will be able to reference the post and go, oh, we're all on the same page now. So this is going to be the labs post. It'll be in the student lounge. All right. Before we start off, let's go to our topics. Beep, beep. Oh, we got one more person that's 21 now. You know what I love seeing? Going in the chat room and seeing all the different little icons. Looks like the United Nations.
All your little selected icons.
Here's why I selected these icons. I wanted different colors here because I like looking down the chat row and seeing different shapes. It's more attractive to me. If I see, like, a lot of times you guys pick icon like MM. This guy, paying student. That's why I didn't fuck with his icon, but it bugs me. Look at this. I'll show you his icon here. Okay. See, it's like a dull color, and you can't really see what it is until you actually get close to it. It's a guy doing push-ups on an elephant tusk. And it's even cut wrong. It's like rectangle. It's not square. So it's not really even a clear picture. And then when it gets smaller in the chat room, you can't tell what the fuck what it is. It just looks like a blob of color. Whereas DVP's goldfish is happy. It's got a white background. It's a white square, so it doesn't
white background. Yeah.
it doesn't have seams, so it looks like it's swimming. I actually don't like mine because it has. In the chat room, it looks, in the forum, it looks fine because it's square. But in the chat room, I'd rather have like a DKO's icon where he's got a guy's head here. He's got who's this dude? Don King, but he has no borders, so he looks like he's just floating around in air. Same with franchise. So I try to pick a lot of icons that didn't have a lot of border around them. They look pretty when they're going down the screen. I like that. Looks colorful.
Professor, what do you think about this? Okay.
What?
So you make you can say you can write something that says Manhood Academy or whatever image you want to put up, but the image is comprised of all of our icons.
What do you mean? I'm not sure. I'm not following.
Come meet the students or something.
What are you saying? I'm not following.
Let's say you have let's say you make a banner or something in the
another banner for the forum, right?
Right.
Okay.
And the image that you create is made up of all our little icons.
Oh, gotcha.
That's pretty cool. I'll feel special.
Welcome to the academy, and these are all the students.
Well, the only problem is nobody's going to know that those represent you. There's just going to be a lot of disjointed images.
The students will know. That's about it.
Yeah.
We'll know.
Good for you.
We'll like it.
I'll know it just looks like an ugly blob of pictures put together.
But if somebody new comes, then he has to keep updating it, keep adding their images, and then he has to take down students who
You know how difficult that will be to maintain that banner? That will be your job, Jar, to maintain that banner.
Okay.
I'm vetoing myself out of that banner. I'm deciding against that banner. I added the Nazguls to this banner.
Good.
This is my favorite banner so far. It's so beautiful to look at. I like the banners for about a month at a time, and then I just I get tired of this banner. So
I'm just curious that Hillary is in there.
don't worry about her. She needs to be in there. All right, let's go to our podcasting topics.
Oh, she's a sorcerer? Yeah.
She's massaging them.
Yes, that's Saruman, the evil sorcerer, and then
Anybody have anything they want to bring up before class? I know I forget to ask you sometimes, but sometimes we get to issues or we finish near the podcast. We get to the end of the podcast and somebody has a huge issue they want to talk about before it ends. So right now is your chance. This is why you have class.
I should take notes about what I need to talk about next time.
There you go. All right.
Every student needs to take notes for the podcast.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. Live and learn. Okay, did we cover this one? Let's see. Oz, we covered that one.
Yeah,
Rock
that
climbing.
one.
T-Rose first thing? Yep.
Yeah.
Covered that. Okay.
That was actually the last topic we covered was
Delete.
Hero Gamma.
Okay.
Good memory.
Let's see. What's next? Next. Click.
Oh boy.
Okay, what's the next one? Thanks for taking the time to write this up, Bogulator. I've been meaning to do this, but have been procrastinating my nuts off. Earlier today, I added a time block to my weekend schedule to finally start writing it out. Once it's done, I'll be messaging bitches on Sunday evening. Looking forward to hearing feedback on it on a podcast. What is he looking for feedback on?
Talking about the dating profile.
Oh, dating profile. Did we cover your dating profile?
Yeah,
We did. I wasn't here. You guys did.
Okay, we can delete that one. Fail report.
Oh, this one.
Did we cover this one?
Uh-oh.
No. I read the whole report before.
Okay, Principal Leotard. I come to the dacha beginning. Let's see. Hey, baby, can you please just follow a huge unit? We covered this. I'm pretty sure we did.
Yes.
We did.
Right.
Yeah,
It's the herd of sheep.
herd of sheep. We covered this.
Yeah.
Fail report. So many topics, all gone. I'm hoping today to get through all these podcasting topics. I got 1.5 pages.
Jinx it, Plum. Don't jinx it.
I don't want to jinx
We
it.
got the class.
Next one's going to take us for the whole class to go through. I know it.
Let's go.
Knock on wood.
Hope it's just an easy one. Go back. Mother. Come on. Go back. Come on. Next. Go down. Fail idea. Okay, let's see.
Oh, this one. Yep.
We did
Yeah,
that.
I remember this.
We did this one?
This is
Jackson challenge.
Yeah, we might be through all these. I'm so excited. This is the first time we'll get through these. Let me close that. Okay, I can delete that one. Oh, what's this next one? Can't wait.
Surprise, there's no label.
I need to start labeling these things. All right, next one. Let's see what's up. Bam. Oh, oops, wrong window. There we go. High School 101's experiment in balls. The whole point of enforcing an expectation is to avoid an emergency, not to rescue interaction. Come on. I realize that. Oh, great post. Yes. Let's cover this, because this is just High School 101 hasn't been participating lately, but has some great posts when he does participate. I'm hoping that he's practicing his social interaction. That's what I'm hoping. All right, let's see. Concrete,
Yo.
welcome to class.
Why, thanks.
You ready to read?
Thank you. Yeah, of course.
Oh, nice accent.
And, what am I reading?
Hello, Governor. You're reading High School 101's
Hello,
Experiment
pilot.
in Balls.
Crikey. Wait, let me go to his,
What
his
page?
notes.
What page in podcasting topics?
Click
It's,
on this thing, Concrete.
Let's see.
Yeah, dude, all we have to do is just click on Plum's webcam and you can see what he's reading.
Expectation Management, High School 101, page 24. And it's right.
Man, my PC is so slow.
Okay, Travo, you're up.
Oh, yeah, travel.
I was in economic class. While the professor was lecturing, some guy sitting behind me started talking to his friend. It was a little distracting, but it didn't bother me a whole hell of a lot, so I just let it go.
Just let it go, bro. Come on, bro. Let's just talk a little bit. Just let it go, bro.
But a few minutes later, he started making comments to himself under his breath whenever the professor said something that he thought was funny. My irritation started to rise, but I still didn't worry about it that much. But then, it's getting blurry. Hold on. But then I started to worry whether my expectation that people not disturb me in class was being violated.
Hold on, let's do this instead so we can all stay awake here. We're going to read in a row. DVP, you're first. Let's see.
Can't see.
Concrete, you find it yet?
But my PC's,
It's an expectation management. It's High School 101 thread. It's the 24th page. And it's down near the middle. Okay, DVP, you're first. Jar, you're second. Paper, you're third. Bogler, you're fourth. Tim Will, you're fifth. Travo, 6. DKO, 7. And Blue, 8.
Professor,
Yo.
1 sentence at a time, right?
Yep, 1 sentence at a time.
is it okay if I read from your screen?
What's that?
Is it okay if I read from your screen?
As long as you read it. Go ahead.
Cool.
Who's up?
Okay, I'm up.
Go.
Even though it wasn't bothering me in the moment, I didn't want to blow up at this guy, and I didn't want him to distract me even more in the future.
The tension was building.
No, the tension was building.
The tension was building.
Yes. Who's next?
I couldn't decide whether to punish him or not.
Next.
I couldn't.
Box.
He kept on whispering. So finally, I turned to him and said,
Dude, shut up. Stating expectation and punishing with scolding.
He immediately quieted down.
I just punished him without giving him any explanations or justifications.
I just punished him without giving him any explanation or justification. You sound like that guy. Who's that guy in the British guy who has a T and he talks like this? Or you sound like that dude in Ferris Bueller. God damn it, Rooney! That's a joke!
Family Guy.
You ready to read it again, DKO? DKO. Uh-oh, he's distracted. Parents? DKO. Ready?
Yeah.
Read it
Wait,
again.
hold on, no.
No, he's not ready. Blue, go ahead. Blue, read his sentence
I
again.
didn't explain. Alright. I just punished him without giving him any explanation.
Explanations or justifications. Okay, DVP, go ahead.
Okay, hold on. Alright. I didn't explain that he was making it hard for me to pay attention, or how he irritated me.
I wanted to enforce my expectation before I got angry.
Yeah.
Hold on. He didn't... Oh, I lost where I was.
He didn't bother
okay,
me
here we
for
go.
the rest of class.
He didn't bother me for the rest of the class.
However, even though I technically got my expectation met, it still bugs me because I didn't take care of it
Reread it,
the
Boggles.
first time he whispered.
Reread it, Boggles.
However, even though I technically got my expectation met, it still bugs me because I didn't take care of it the first time he whispered.
Didn't sound like it bugged you. Read it again.
It did.
Read it
However,
again.
you want me to get it? Okay. However, even though I technically got, what the hell happened? Okay.
Pretend it's High School 101.
Why is that happening?
I think somebody came in and it moved. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, hold on, I'm trying to get back.
It's Oz. He's joined class.
What's up, boss?
Welcome to class, Oz.
Okay, let's see.
What's up, guys?
Alright,
What's up?
Okay. However, even though I technically
Hold
got my
on.
expectation met, it still bugs me
Hold on.
because I didn't take care of it
Hold
the
on,
first time
Boggles.
he
Hold on,
whispered.
Boggles. Hold on.
Sure, first one.
What's going on?
Hold on.
Well,
Quiet.
I don't know.
Sounds like the TV in the background. Anybody got anything going on in the background?
Well, I see.
Somebody was typing, I think.
No, nobody was typing. You can see the volume levels rise up, and it's coming from Concrete's webcam.
Concrete.
The wind.
Is it the wind?
That was too loud.
Wait, I was off it.
Go ahead, Boggles. Hit it.
Where was I? However, even though I technically got my expectation met, it's what happened?
Dude, that shit keeps happening.
Yeah, it keeps happening.
Yeah.
Okay, it still bugs me because I didn't take care of it the first time he whispered.
The first time, yes. Okay, next. So, well,
I had to let my temper rise a little bit before I told him to shut up.
This made me realize that I only enforce my expectations when I feel like it.
oh, read that again.
Ooh.
This made me realize that I only enforce my expectations when I feel like it.
DVP, read it again.
This made me realize that I only enforce my expectations when I feel like it.
Nice guy, read it.
Was that?
Jar, read it.
Oh. This made me realize that I only enforce my expectations when I feel like it.
Oz, can you see the screen?
Who's that? Oh, is that me?
No,
No.
Oz.
No,
Oz.
that's him.
I don't see where it is.
Okay, don't worry about it. Concrete, you find it yet?
Yes, this made me realize that I only enforce my expectations when I feel like it. Okay, it's pretty
Hit
blurry.
it, paperclip.
This made me realize that I only enforce my expectations when I feel like it.
Boggles.
This made me realize that I only enforce expectations when I feel like it. That's me.
Tim Will.
This made me realize that I only enforce my expectations when I feel like it.
Okay, hit it. Travo, next.
Okay, hold on. I only punish when I feel like I'm about to blow up.
I was only going to punish that guy in emergency mode when I had gone past the breaking point.
Hold on a second. Who's getting knifed in the background?
That was a dog.
Is that your dog?
Oh, that's Jar.
There's someone-
Jar's dog is going wild. Run, Jar, run.
Jar, get that dog.
Get him.
Okay,
Dog catcher.
who's up? Read that sentence again before we got distracted.
Okay. Where the fuck is it?
Damn it, why is that happening?
People are leaving in and even out of class. Go ahead, don't worry about it. You gotta make do.
Okay. I was only going to punish that guy in emergency mode when I had gone past the breaking point.
Okay,
Paper.
you're up, paper.
I lost. Where we
Go,
are.
Boggles.
I know.
I'm okay.
I found it.
Go ahead.
Fine.
Go, paper.
Thank you. I know how wrong the attitude was. Oh wait, no. Excuse me. I now know how wrong the attitude was.
The whole point of enforcing my expectations is to avoid an emergency,
Oh, yes.
not to rescue my interaction from one.
Yes. Yes. Say it again, Tim Will. Read that sentence again.
The whole point of enforcing my expectations is to avoid an emergency, not to rescue my interaction from one.
Yes, read it again, Travo.
The whole point of enforcing my expectations is to avoid an emergency, not to rescue my interaction.
Yes,
from one.
read it again, DDP.
The whole point of enforcing my expectation is to avoid an emergency, not to rescue my interaction from one.
All right, pop quiz, hotshot jar. What's the point of... what? Something your expectations? I forgot the quiz.
What's 2 plus 2? Yes.
What's 2 plus 2, Jar?
What's the point of enforcing expectations?
Jar, what's the point of enforcing your expectations?
To get your needs met. High school 101.
Let me
You
ask
missed it. It was
Boggles.
just after the dog.
Boggles, what's the point of enforcing your expectations?
To avoid emergencies.
The whole point of enforcing my expectations is to avoid an emergency, not rescue
To
my
rescue
interaction
your
from
interactions
one.
from one.
Tim Will,
Yes.
what's the whole point of enforcing your expectations?
It's to avoid an emergency and not to
No,
rescue.
wrong answer. It's to avoid an emergency,
It's to avoid an emergency,
not to...
not to rescue my interactions from one.
All right, Jar, you ready for your quiz?
I'm ready for my quiz now.
What's the
I'm
whole
stoked.
point of enforcing your expectations?
The whole point of enforcing your expectations is to avoid an emergency.
Wrong. Jar.
Yeah.
What's the point of enforcing your expectations?
To get your needs met.
No. Tim Will's going to give you the answer. Tim Will, what's the point to enforcing your expectations?
The whole point of enforcing your expectations is to avoid an emergency, not to rescue my interactions from one.
Okay, Jar.
Yeah.
You ready for your quiz?
I'm ready for my quiz.
What's the point of what's the point of managing your expectations? What's the point of enforcing your expectations?
The point of enforcing your expectations is to avoid an emergency.
No.
Not to...
Wrong. Travo. What's the point of enforcing your expectations?
The whole point of enforcing my expectations is to avoid an emergency, not to rescue my interaction from one.
Jar, you ready for your quiz?
I'm ready for the quiz. I see what you did there. Okay, I'm ready for the quiz now.
Good work, son.
I'm ready.
Good luck. Third time's a charm. What's the point of enforcing your expectations, Jar?
The whole point of enforcing your expectations is to avoid an emergency, and not to rescue an interaction.
Ah, he got it.
Yeah.
Paperclip, what's the point of enforcing your expectations?
Whole point of enforcing my expectations is to avoid an emergency.
Yes.
Not to rescue my interaction.
Yes, this is when you guys start enforcing your expectations.
When it pisses us off.
Yeah, when it's pissing you off and fuck, this guy won't do what I want. Fuck him! Motherfucker, it's time to punish! Right? Then what do? You pull out your Glock.
It's funny that you brought that analogy from because I've said that about Big L for like the past week now.
Yeah, Big L, you notice Big L talks about chainsaws and cutting people's heads off.
Oh, no.
You want to hear a movie there?
Yes, he's in serial killer mode.
Big O is scary, dude.
Dude, Big L, he's gonna go crazy one day. He's gonna be so mad. He's gonna go cactus.
Alright, let's get back on track here. Oh, shut up. Let's go. Let's get back on track. I realize that the whole point of punishment is to apply a little pain now so that I don't have to apply a ton of pain later. What's the whole point of punishment? Travo?
To apply a little pain.
Travo?
To avoid. Did you say Trevor?
Yes. What is the point of punishment?
The whole point of punishment is to apply a little pain now, so I don't have to apply a ton of pain later.
Yes. Everybody catch that? The point of punishing is to apply a little pain now, so you don't have to apply a ton later. You don't have to go serial killer mode. Mr. Nice Guy, what's the point of punishment?
The whole point of punishment is to apply a little pain now, so that I don't have to apply a ton of pain later.
Yes. Okay, DBP, go ahead. Start reading from there.
I'm supposed to punish people. I'm supposed to punish people before I blow up and blast someone away with 12 gauge.
Yes.
If I only punish when I feel angry, then what happens if someone violates my expectation and I leave it alone?
In the short term, wait, am I going after Jar or
yes, go ahead.
going after Jar?
Go ahead.
Okay. Oh shit. Okay, in the short term, I avoid the grief of confronting that person, but in the long run, I shoot myself in the foot.
I let resentment build up until one day I snap at them.
One more time, Boggles.
I let resentment build up until one day I snap at them.
Sound familiar for anybody here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Keep going. Next.
Instead of telling them, dude, shut up now, I would only end up snapping at them later.
Go, Travo.
Is that the end of it?
Yep, next paragraph.
Hold on. I'm on something else.
So I should be punishing violations of my expectations even when I'm not angry because applying a little bit of pain in the long term is easier than applying a lot of pain later when the situation is out of hand, like when I'm in a relationship and I've set a precedent where I'm not in charge and finally I'm frustrated because nobody's meeting my expectations and then I unload. Now I gotta apply a ton of pain. Right? I've already set a precedent and suddenly I'm behaving a totally different way and this person expects me to behave this way and suddenly I'm making a 180 right in the middle of a relationship when they're used to like 5 years of me being a pushover and all of a sudden I'm taking a stand. How smooth do you think that's going to go?
No.
No, not at all. No, exactly.
That's when the shotguns and the knives come out.
That's when the shotguns and the knives and domestic violence reports come out. Okay, DVP, hit it.
I should have balls, regardless of whether I feel like it or not.
Although the thought of punishing someone lightly might make my heart pound, days, weeks, or months down the line, it's going to be a hell of a lot more painful when, metaphorically speaking, I have to hit them in the face with a crowbar to get them to stop walking all over me.
The severity.
Keep going.
The severity of the violation will increase, and so will the pain needed to stop it.
Yes. You guys notice that if you don't handle frustrations, violations of your expectations, that person takes a little bit more rope, takes a little bit more leeway with you, takes a little bit more license to violate your expectations. They go a little bit further. Instead of being 10 minutes late, they're 20 minutes late. Instead of being 20 minutes, they're 25 minutes. Instead of 25, it's an hour. Instead of being an hour, they just forget to call you that they're not coming. Anybody ever have this experience where they just let expectation violations slide and they just get worse? They don't get better. They don't just fix themselves.
Yeah.
They always get worse.
Yep.
Keep going.
By letting the guy behind me talking under his breath, I was letting the little problem snowball into a monster of a problem.
It's like a snowball rolling downhill.
Applying a little bit of pain is like stopping that snowball a few seconds after it starts rolling.
It'll be easy to pick up, and it won't gather any more snow.
But if I let it keep rolling downhill, it'll gather more and more snow until it becomes a giant snow boulder.
Yes.
The more snow it gathers, the harder it will be for me to stop it.
Eventually, it'll get too big for me to stop, and I'll crush everything, and it'll crush everything in its path.
It can even become an avalanche or kill someone.
If I blow up, I'm doing something wrong.
The confrontations that I missed today will turn into a shotgun murder tomorrow.
Boy, good realization.
There we go.
So we now know how to head off serial killers. How do we head off serial killers, Jar?
We snap them now so we don't have to do it later when they're too much of a problem.
Yes.
Nip the problem in the bud.
Nip the problem in the bud, exactly.
No killings.
Quiet down, doggy. I got doggies running here. Oh, are you here? No. I got my appointment here. I got my appointment for... Shh. I got my appointment for... Wait. Are you here? Are you here?
Yeah.
He's here. Contact. Contact has been made. I'm in class right now. We're about to end class.
Got a new student?
No, I don't have a new student. I have an old buddy over, and we're going to get it on. It's about to be on.
This is fun.
Damn it.
Hold on.
I don't want class to end.
Call
Yeah.
of Duty, Modern Warfare calls. Whoop, whoop.
Is it the dice?
No, it's the other buddy. Hey, okay, so let's review quickly.
No.
No.
Yes. We're going to
Lab
review quickly.
activities.
Number one,
Let's do it.
when class is over, what is somebody going to post in the student lounge?
The plan for the lab, genetic chemistry lab.
Yes, the lab. The lab post, very important supplement to the class right now. Number two, what is the way to prevent serial killers, Tim Will?
So, enforce your expectations and punish them a little bit now so you don't have to shoot them later.
So you don't have to shoot them later, exactly. If you're frustrated, what is that a sign of, Boggles? If you're feeling frustration with somebody in your relationship, what is that a sign of?
It's a sign that you are not enforcing your expectations.
Yes. Does anybody have any relationships right now they can think of where they are frustrated
Yes.
with the other person?
Oh yeah, I have
Almost all of mine. Pretty much all of mine too.
one with snake guy, one with the guy.
Okay. For somebody who is frustrated in their relationship, can somebody answer the question, why are you frustrated in your relationship? DBP.
Because I'm not enforcing my expectations. I'm not punishing them enough.
Yes. Also, Boggles, what do you need in order for your punishments to matter? In order for somebody to meet your demands, what do you need to remember? Very crucial.
You need to reward them and guide them.
Yes, you need to tell them not only what they shouldn't be doing, violating your expectations, what else do you also need to do?
You need to give them positive incentive.
You need to tell them what
tell them what to do.
what they should be doing, exactly. So you can't just say, do this, because you'll be frustrated, they'll violate your expectations. They will turn you into serial killer, and you can't just say, don't do this, or you'll end up like Boggles, being banned from the academy, and people won't want to talk to you. You have to be both. You have to care about your expectations, and you have to give the other person a reason to meet your expectations. You have to have both. You have to have both.
Mhm.
Anybody have any questions?
I do not.
No, sir.
Okay, so we're gonna the thing we're gonna try and hit in the coming week is this lab. We're gonna see how we're gonna arrange it, organize it, and get it off the ground as soon as possible, so you guys can have time. If even outside of class, this is prime time to be practicing. The real meat of the practice is not class. When I'm talking to you, where's the real meat of the practice, Jar?
It's when we are talking with each other.
Yes, that is where your social interaction practice really matters, because
you've got
now
to-
you have competing expectations. Students here, you guys are all dysfunctional. You guys will definitely have competing expectations. You'll get offended. You'll have conflicts. This is where expectation management matters. This is where you're learning how to manage your expectations with bros. You should also then translate that into expectation management with girls. So right now it's very easy. With guys, it's much easier than with girls. So learn how to manage your expectations with the other students. This is the prime time to do that. Take advantage of the resources here. Don't be a lazy fucking asshole sitting back and going, this is like TV land for me. This is just another TV, another place to just be stimulated, learn cool things, some self-improvement, and then I'm off on my merry way. You are wasting your time here. Might as well quit and start Oprah.com right now. Take advantage of the resources here. What is the number one resource at this academy? Travo.
The students.
Smokey the Bear. What is the number one resource at the academy?
The students.
Concrete. What's the number one resource at the academy?
The students.
Paperclip. How are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
They suck.
Sounds like you need some work then.
Okay.
DVP. How are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
There is no relationship.
Well, now you know what to do. Boggles. How are your relationships with the other students at the academy?
They're pretty pathetic.
Well, now you guys have something to shoot for. You can't go any lower than pretty pathetic, right? Other than very pretty pathetic, I guess you could throw another qualifier on there, but other than that, you can't dig any deeper than you're already dug. You can only go up. That's the good news. All right, guys, have fun. Hang out in the hangout, or stick around in the hangout if you want. We're gonna talk. Make sure you post immediately the post about the lab so we can get that done as soon as possible. All right, catch you guys later.